Hello there, yarn lovers. It's Gary, and I'm coming to you from my happy place, the Yarn Corner here on the west coast of Canada. So welcome, welcome, welcome. On this sunny Sunday, it is December the 15th, 2024. How are you all doing? I hope you're well and staying safe. If you're happening across this channel for the very first time, I've set the channel up to talk about all of my yarny adventures. That's in knitting and crocheting. I also talk about what I purchase online or in store in the way of yarn or tools of my craft. So if that's of interest, please stick around. And for those who are returning, I want to say welcome back. I've been loving reading all of the comments that you've been leaving me in the last few videos that I've posted, and I'm catching up with you, finding out what you're working on, you know, what your intentions are for the holidays, as well as if you're making any kind of like special goals that you want to reach or dreams that you wish to aspire to achieve in the new year of 2025. So thank you for that. Keep them coming. And so I should tell you what I'm wearing, because that's what I start off with normally. And this is a crochet beanie that was gifted to me a few years back. So traditionally, I always pull this out for Christmas and I wear it. So this came from Tori. Now she has a YouTube channel here on the YouTube streets. It is called Paulie's Crocheted Creations. Thank you, Tori. I absolutely love this beanie. So it is quite warm in the room. I don't know whether I can make it through the video with the hat on. You can also see behind me here is what we're going to be talking a little bit about, and I'll leave this towards the last of my show and tell, which is kind of a bit of a whip video that I've put together. It's updates on what I've been working on, as well as a new cast on. So more on that in a little bit. And also I want to catch you up on the Moodboard mail that I hosted. I was hosting a make along, and it was hashtag Moodboard mail fall 24. And I want to say that the recipients of the draw, I drew 2 people out of a bag in my last, I guess it was the participants slideshow presentation for those who had entered. And there were 2 lucky winners of special gifts. So one happened to have the Knit Picks $25 gift voucher. They've claimed that prize, so that's wonderful. Thank you, Knit Picks, for giving us a generous gift of $25. And the second winner also reached out to me, and we came up with the decision to gift patterns. So there was a couple of wish list patterns that were in her Ravelry, and we decided to go ahead and grant some of those patterns, and that was a wonderful gesture as well. I hope that they both enjoy their gifts, as well as I am looking forward to seeing what they make, what yarn that they choose in the instance of the Knit Picks gift voucher, as well as the finished patterns. And there's no rush, because I know that if you're like me and you have multiple projects in project bags ready to go, that sometimes these things do take a little bit of time to get to. So, okay, I'm going to now shift gears and we'll talk about the whips of recent that I've been starting, and then we'll get into this big blanket, which is kind of almost there. I'm going to say I need about a month more of work to get all them stitched together and then create the nice border. So in the last video, I did showcase a start of a shawl that I was working on a tutorial pattern from Bag O' Day. I will include all of the patterns and tutorials or YouTubers that I mentioned down below in the description box, should you want to go over and check them out or find out some more details. And I am possibly about, how much would I say I've got done? Maybe 3/4. So I have another maybe 5 hours to put in this, and then it'll be done. But here it is here. Isn't that just amazing? I absolutely love this. Now it's called the Hyperfixated Semi-Circular Crocheted Shawl. And I did a little bit of something different to this. In the mesh section here, I created bubble stitches in a star-like formation, and I didn't know whether this would work out because I wasn't quite sure how it would look with the stars emanating and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but it seems to have remained flat, which is nice. One of my concerns was that maybe the bubble stitches would push and warp the fabric, but it does look pretty good. And with a little bit of blocking at the end of this make, I will hopefully have it grow just that little bit more, have it a little bit more drapier, as well as open up those mesh holes slightly a bit more, especially in the border that I've just started. And I'm hoping to achieve the border to be 3 times this size, giving it lots of open, lacy weight to the whole thing. What do you think of the color? Isn't that spectacular? So it goes from a limeish green to a rose petal pink, and then into more, I'm now encroaching on a more of a hot pink down here. And let's take a look at the yarn, shall we? I am using gifted things that I received recently. I would say in the last maybe 4 months of the podcast. I'm using this cake here, which does all of the color transition itself. Now, I thought that this was a cotton cake, but it's not. It's microfiber and a bit of wool, so it's a blend. Oh, that's really vibrant there, that hot kind of pink color, and it's coming out a slight, no, that's hot pink. And the wonderful thing about this is that it does all of the transition itself. I don't have to cut and attach any extra yarn. And this was a gift that was given to me by Edith. Hi Edith, thank you so much for this. I'm loving the cake, and I got 2 of them. The other thing I can't find that I'm looking for, I think it's because I got up at 2 o'clock this morning and I couldn't sleep, so I was using my 3.75 millimeter crochet hook, and that was a gift as well from it's over there somewhere. It was a gift from Karen, so I'm really enjoying working with that hook. And I'm housing the whole project in another Edith gift, which is this wonderful box basket with bees on them. So bees and beehives and honey jars. I absolutely love this. Now the yarn, I have a full cake here so you can see how it looks. This was the second one that Edith gifted me. I don't think I'm going to need it, but it's from a company online in Italy, I think. It's called Lolo Crea, and that's the name of the color. I really like the color. So that's what the cake looks like, if you're interested. So by the next podcast update, I should have this to show and tell. Hopefully I'll have time to wash block it as well, and then show how wonderfully drapey this fabric is. The next thing that I want to talk about is a new cast on, and I haven't done that much really on it, but I had this in my project bags, I think last maybe 6 weeks, and I really was eager to work on it. And it's from my publication book that I purchased from Stephen and Penelope, called Painting Shawls by Stephen West. And I've printed out this pattern from that book. You can purchase these individually as well. I have a code in the book when you want to print out and write notes, that the code is what you use when you're on Ravelry, and you can download these patterns, the digital version, and then print them off and then use these to write your notes on, so that your book stays nice and crisp and fresh. So I thought, I always think that that's a great option when you're working on a Stephen West publication, that you've got that chance to print off or work digitally if you like to use your digital screens like your iPad or your tablets to work your patterns. So it's a nice little bonus there. And this is called Painting Diamonds. So that's the pattern that I chose. It uses 3.75 millimeter needles, and I'm using my Chagu set. This is what I got so far, and I'll show you the yarn that I chose. In the pattern, I believe they ask for doing minis, and you can kind of paint your own rainbow style shawl, and it's more a rectangular, so I guess it's more a wrap or a stow, and that's what I've got so far. I think I'm showing you the right side. Yeah, it's like little bricks. I'm going low contrast at the beginning, but then the way that these yarns that I've chosen work up, it's going to get louder and louder with the contrast. So I didn't use minis or scraps. I'm using a gradated cake here of a silvery light gray going into a mid gray, and this is from Alice Silky Effect Diva collection, and this is a microfiber yarn, so 100% microfiber. It's shiny, it has that almost look of bamboo and cotton blend, and it's going to gradate. I'm using it from the outside in, and when I get towards the inside of the cake, the contrast is going to be greater, so I'll get a lot of loud kind of contrast, and that will be nice. The next yarn that I'm using, I'll get a ball so you can see the label attached to it. It's this ball here, and I purchased this. Where did I get this ball of yarn from? I can't remember. I think it might have been Artisanthropy, and it's a ball of Sock Twins Crazy Ball, and that's by Estelle. Do you have a color? It's just a number 08, so that's my 08. I got 2 balls of this, so I think I'm fine with just sticking with this colorway. I did throw this one in case I wanted to check out whether this would be an addition to the stole or the wrap. And this colorway here is color number 06. The colorway for the Azil, I think I'm pronouncing that, Elise is color number, it's also a number called, the number is 7369. Should show you there. There we go. Okay, so that's what I'm working on. Alongside that is this amazing project that I've been working on for over, I'm going to say 16 months now. I'm at the stage, all the squares are done. I even went overkill. I wanted to do 12 rows by 15 rows. So that was 180 squares. So I did my 180, but as I was pinning it up on the sheet behind me, it's an old sheet, I discovered that if I went to the 15 row length, it was going to be really excessively big. So with the border included, I thought it's better for me to kind of take off a row of 12, keep it 12 by 14, and then I have 12 extra little squares to play around with to see what colors I had too much of, ones that I needed to use more often in the blanket. So I had a little bit of breathing space, which was nice. And those extra 12, there's a number of them that are too close in color, but I'll add to them and use a nice mix of the same colors that you're seeing back here and make a pillow. So the bed, queen size bed spread will then have a matching cushion cover or a pillowcase that I can throw on the bed as well for a bit of an accent or I don't know, just something to sort of give it the extra dimension as well of the blanket flowing into the pillows on the bed. So yeah, I have a clip that I did a couple of, maybe even a week ago, where I talk about all the colors, and I'll include it in here. I have since started my connection. I'm on the 5th row, so you only can see a portion here, but there's another 5 rows going down on the ground here. So I am working my way up this way. What is it, horizontally? And then once I get those horizontal ones down, I'll do the vertical stitching. And I'll come back and I'll show you what yarn I've chosen for the stitch work to keep join it all and the border. So enjoy the colors that I chose for this blanket snippet that I'm adding in here, and I'll be back soon. Hello there, yarn lovers, it's Gary and I'm coming to you from my happy place, the Yarn Corner here. In today's little snippet, I'm going to be talking about the colors that I used in my Nature's Walk crocheted blanket. Now, it's, as you can see, it's not constructed yet, but I have completed all of the tiles and they have been blocked and all the ends have woven in. So I'm going to be talking about the color palette that I selected. Now, they're not going to be arranged this way, it's just what I've got. And there are 18 different colors in this color palette. Now that's quite a number of colors. Some of them are in the same wheelhouse, the same family, just a different tone. Some of them are almost identical. So I've chosen lots of oranges. There are golden kind of rust colors and aqua. There's a bit of purple and greens. So it covers pretty much the full, almost full color wheel, but I have played on the values. Some are more muted, some are more vibrant. So in my mind, I'm hoping to get a nice balance of cool and warm. I have yet to decide what kind of yarn I'm going to use in color for the joining and also the border. Let's start with down here at this point where this purple is. We'll be talking about the acrylic yarn. There is one in here which is acrylic cotton blend, but most of them are 100% acrylic and they're all value acrylic yarn. So I'll be sort of talking about my finds with them, how I felt they were compared to one another. And this is a Premier Basic DK. The colorway of this one is called Orchid. So that's that one down there. And I really liked the plumpness of the Premier. I find that it was good with a sturdy kind of solid motif that it created, and stitch work and definition, as you can tell, it's really well defined. Celery, also from Premier Basic DK. That's this one here. So I'm moving up now along there. This is a Style Special DK or double knitting, and this is kind of a standard one, quite average with the thickness of their 3-weight. The color of this one up here is Parma Violet. Now if we go down here, this one is from Hayfield Bonus Extra Value. And all of these balls that I'm mentioning are 100 grams, except for one. The colorway of this one is Pumpkin. And what I found with this bonus bundle from Hayfield, this was the thickest out of the whole 5 that I sampled using DK weight in the acrylic variety. So I found that this was the most bulkiest, thickest, plumpest. There was a bit of a sheen to this one as well. Now we go down to, sorry, this one here, which is Special Stylecraft DK, and this is the clover motif, and the colorway of this one is teal. And moving up to this one here, which is, I believe, the snowflake one. Again, Premier Basic DK in the colorway C. Moving down here, these are where I'm using a blend of cotton acrylic, Willow Rise, Willow Yarns Rise. It's no longer available. They discontinued this yarn probably around 6 months ago. So I got myself a number of them and I really love this yarn. It's probably one of my favorites to work with that I had gone through with this blanket. The colorway is called Charcoal. And the nice thing about the Willow Rise when you're able to get it was the tones of the different grays that it goes through. This one I don't have the ball band to, but I just checked my order from Premier Yarns and there was another ball that I use called Pumpkin. So this is Premier's Pumpkin and this one here is the DK the Hayfield bonus bundle pumpkin. So you can see that there's quite a different resemblance. This one to me is more like a baked pumpkin and this one is like the outer shell of an actual pumpkin, so the orange kind of red color there. Now moving up to this one, again a Willow Rise and the colorway is called Caramel. Then down here at the bottom where I've done another snowflake, so it's sort of like is the same pattern as that one, but I'm using a different color, is the Premier Basic DK in the colorway called Heritage Blue. Got a little bit there that's left over. And moving up along here, we have Stylecraft DK, Special DK, sorry, and this color is called Stone. So it's very reminiscent of the caramel here, so very much the same. And this one up here, the dark brown, it's from Hayfield Bonus, and that color is called Bronze. That's this one. I really like this color a lot. Now we move down to our, I think this one's called Leaf pattern or motif, and this one is from James C. Brett, Top Value Double Knitting, and the colorway is called Aqua. The middle one here, which is also a pumpkin-y kind of rusty color, is this one from Hayfield Bonus, and that one's called Auburn. It's a really nice color there. Last one up here we have, I believe this one is called Blossom, and it's Premier Basic DK and the colorway is called Thistle. I believe Thistle might be one of the new colors of the DK weight value Premier Basics. And lastly, this row here, we go to the bottom. One of my other favorite colors that I'm using is this one here from Hayfield Bonus, again, Bonus Double DK, Double Knit, is called Fox. This one is called, the motif is called Berries. Moving up to this one here, also a Premier Basic DK, and the colorway is called Light Brown. Another favorite of mine is the swatch or the square motif called Wheat. And the last one here in the set of 18 colors is this one from James C. Brett, Top Value Double Knitting, and this color is called Sage. Another favorite of mine for color, but also for use. So those are all the colors that I've selected in the blanket. And as I mentioned, this is not the setup that I'm going to have when the blanket is put together. Some of these colors may end up being side by side with the ones that you're seeing here. I would have to say Stylecraft for this one, and James Seabrett Top Value, which is very, very comparable to Yarnsmith's double knitting as well. So I would say both of those three would be my favorites for DK weight, economic, 100% acrylic yarns. I'm glad that I put that clip together last week. I hope you enjoyed it, because it does document for me what colors that I used, and that's great for this visual diary that I'm putting together and posting. So let's talk about the yarn that I've chosen to join the squares and do the border. It's this yarn here from Hirschner's 2-ply classic Afghan yarn in the colorway Almond. I bought it in a 3-pack, so I got ample to do all of the joining as well as the border. It is a sport weight 2-weight yarn and a little finer of a yarn than the yarn that I used in the blanket. So it's easy to navigate through all the tight edge stitches. So I'm having no issues with it whatsoever. I'm using a 3.5mm crochet hook, same size hook that I use for all the squares. Will also be the hook size that I use to join. I already have started the project, as I think I might have mentioned. And yeah, so let's talk about the pattern, shall we? If I have not mentioned it already, because the previous video clip that I just showed was over a week ago and haven't really watched it back since. And the pattern is by Sandra Paul. It's called The Nature's Walk. It comes in 2 versions that you can combine together to do extra motifs. But the first one being the free pattern, I'll link it down below. It offers up 6 motifs and suggestions on color, if you want the color. It is an option as well for you to choose if you want to use the UK terminology for crochet or a US terminology. I've printed out the UK one by mistake, but I kind of know the versioning of the language to switch it over to the US. There are directions as well of how to join and doing the border in the free version. So if you want to try it out or test it, it's free, and it's completely described in the instructions on what to do from start to end. So I thought it was a very good written pattern, offering up chart as well as row by row writing on each of the motifs. And it never leaves you wondering or guessing, because there's instructional photographs on more of the, I guess, terms of the stitch work that they use within the pattern. The second version is the bonus package, and that is a paid for bundle, and it offers up another 6 motifs. I've used 11 in this blanket, 6 of the free ones and then 5 from the bonus. I think the one that I missed out on using was called Butterfly. And what else can I tell you about it? I think that's about it. Yeah. I really enjoyed working this up once before. Last year I did a blanket 8 by 10, and this time I'm doing 12 by 14 with a additional pillow, and I really like it. I do think that the blanket in the pattern asks you to do a 6 by 8, which is 48 squares, and it's more of a lapgan or a stow that you can put over your shoulders. So that's it on all the whips that I got to catch you up on. I know it hasn't been much over the course of the week, but this did take a lot of time to pin up on the wall, and I like the fact that it's hanging on the wall and not taking up space. So that's a great tip for future blankets that I'm going to be doing that get so big that I can sort of work on them on the wall. How do you work your blankets? I'm really curious. Some people I see on their podcasts that they go down into the dining area, which is a lot of setup time, but then also a lot of pack up time too. But let me know how you work your larger projects. I'd be curious. I think this one for me, because of the space, is great. So if you're living in tight quarters, or if you don't want to unpack and then pack everything away and all that sort of thing, this might be the ideal kind of solution for you as well. Also, I've been watching a lot of advents opening on my YouTube podcast that I watch, and I have to say I'm on board for next year choosing one. I've written down a couple that I really like, and if you have suggestions on a favorite advent calendar of yarn that you've purchased in the past or you aspire to purchase, let me know what it is, the name of the company, and tell me a little bit about what you like about it. Is it the color choices? Are they fade? Are they really holiday inspired colors? Did you like the fiber base that they chose? I'd really like to know what it is that you enjoy about a special advent calendar. As with everything that is an expense, like a set of yarn or a set of tools, I like to take my time, do a bit of research, and before I make the investment on a large purchase like that. With that, I think that catches you up on everything. Yeah. I should just mention, I'm going to add this in here now because I might be jumping in here to do a second video. I have done some filming on this. I have small clips, but it will be something exciting that I'm going to be opening up for all people if they're interested in participating, and that's a make along, and it will be my next season's mood board Mal, and it will be for the winter season. I'll probably open it up late December sometime, and it'll go all the way till March, so it's a good healthy chunk of time. And I'm just figured out what the theme is, and I'm really excited about it, and I will be talking about that very soon, and hopefully getting it out either before the Christmas period or Christmas holiday time for me, or just after. There's a bit of chunk of time that work is closing down for me, and I will be having a couple days at home without having to go to work. So I'm thinking, cross fingers, that I can get that to you before the new year. Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. Okay, and that's it. I will let you go, get on with all of your holiday preparations. Maybe you've had a couple of events already. I hope they've been well received and that you've had lots of fun with friends and family. And for those who don't celebrate any particular holiday, I hope that you have had a nice winter, or if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere, you're having warmer weather. So I hope you're getting out and enjoying some of that sun. Today, it's sunny out there right now, so I'm going to get going and maybe see some of that sun and walk my puppy Pixel. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.